Listen to your customers. Listen to hear what they have to say. Good communicators are not good talkers. They're good listeners. That's the most important thing. You personalize the customer experience. There's nothing more important for anybody ever to hear as a customer than their own name. It is music to their ears. If Sloan were to come up to me and say, hey, I'm angry and da 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 da, and I would say, oh, Sloan, I completely understand. Let me see what I can do. And then I'm like, okay, Sloan, I think I can do this. I've used her name a couple of times, and now she's like, okay, so we're on a level together. He's understanding me. So you want to personalize that customer experience as much as you can. And then you have to engage with your customers. And the most important thing about this, we talked about surveying earlier. If you are not regularly engaging the customers, if you've got a passive customer, someone who you say, well, they regularly order from us every so often, or Mrs. Johnson in unit 11G has lived there for 4 years, she's just going to renew. It's automatic. I don't need to do anything. That's not the case. That's not the world we live in today. Engaging with people is so important. Engaging with our customers is something that you have to do.
Resident events do not need to be extravagant to be extraordinary. Maybe you do a resident retention event just on those 10 expirations every month. Brainstorm ideas and get the whole team involved. Maybe your maintenance supervisor, your maintenance technician has a great idea on resident events, right? Get them involved. Listen to them. They are your frontliners. And you need to get them inspired to get those creative ideas going. They know your property. Treat your residents how you want to be treated. This is super important, you guys.
At that moment when you're serving them and you have that little warm and fuzzy that we get when we know we did a really good job, that's the moment to ask for that positive review or ask for a review in general. You don't know what it says. And so that's when you do it and just go for it.
Absolutely. Be proactive, not reactive. This means the difference between mitigating an issue or a concern before it becomes a negative review rather than after. Just taking the time, taking a minute to understand, to collaborate, and to communicate is huge.
So to recap, Gen Z renters are many things, but 4 areas that will affect how you attract and retain them as residents are: make authentic connections with them on social media. Check out Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. And don't be afraid to experiment with paid ads. Make sure you're reaching out for reviews and respond to the ones that come in.
Let's talk about gender neutral language. Lori hinted at this earlier, but I want to do a deeper dive into why gender neutral language is so important in your job descriptions and associated ads. According to a 2016 ZipRecruiter study, job listings with gender neutral wording received 43% more responses. That's a lot, especially in this market, 43% more. So what is gendered language? Well, traditionally feminine coded words include support, understand, affectionate. Traditionally masculine coded words include leader, aggressive, ambitious. Do not fear. There are resources that can help you adjust your job description. Gender Decoder is a great tool which scans your job descriptions for a gender bias. This resource will even identify which words are creating that bias so that you can revise.
Right, but nobody ever told me that this is a very narrow margin business. So this is based off of the NAA's and industry's income and expense survey. So we lose that much of every dollar to vacancy from 2 years ago, but the numbers have changed slightly, but it's about the same. Lose that much to collections and that much to concessions. Look how much of that dollar is already gone just from the rental adjustments, just from losing money. Then we spend that much on our operating expenses. So that piece of the dollar that you see left in 2019, that represented about 47.8 cents. But then we do our capital expenses. We replace those carpets and occasionally place roofs and parking lots and sidewalks, and maybe we do upgrades. That much of the on industry average of the dollar is missing. And that's what we do to pay our mortgage. See that little piece of the dollar that's left? That's our cash flow or our ROI. on average as an industry. That little piece of the dollar, that's our cash flow, represents 9.1 cents.
Which bid is the best? You know, with no other information, I think everyone's going to go with bid one, correct? The best bid, regardless of the dollar amount, is the bid that provides the service and ultimately the end result that you desire. A cheap bid which does not produce the desired outcome is not a good value.